Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a quick review. I just finished the Tiger Mouse, which is a premium tier 9. I don't know if it's a reward or premium. It's one of those two things. 100 battles in this thing. How do we do? Let's check it out real quick. 61% win rate. Come down here. Let's go ahead and sort by 9s just so we can look at some of my other tier 9s because there are quite a few tier 9 German heavy tanks, and they're all big blunt objects. All right, they're just cudgels, these tanks. The E75, the 4502 Bravo, the Mauschen, and the Tiger Mouse. They're all just smash face kind of tanks. I ended up with a 61% win rate in 100 battles, 74.3 hits, survived nearly 50% of my battles. Damage ratio 1.35 is okay, not great. Destruction 1.29. Armor use 0.58, surprised me a little bit. I would have said it was closer to 1. This is situational armor, and it doesn't seem like a tank with this armor should have that. We're going to talk a little bit about power creep in this game because I don't think you're going to find a clearer example of how it has gone in this game than comparing this thing, the 4502, and the Mauschen, which are very much corollaries, similar tanks, rear-mounted, big, supposedly armored tanks. Only did 2,086 average damage. That was low. For example, my Mauschen is 2,500. My E75 is similar at 2,097. What else we got? Look at the armors. The armor use efficiency, 4502, 1.34. Now, this was a long time ago. Not now. Not with power creep. I don't think I do 1.34 in those 400 battles now. The Mauschen sitting at 1.27. It's been a while since I played it. Poor Tiger Mouse, 0.58. Power creep, fellas. Also a very large lower plate. And the turret, while thick, is kind of a crummy design. It's the mouse turret with it's curved, but it's flat right there on the cheeks. Yeah, not fantastic. 955 experience, so that's good. I'd rather be around 1,000 at my tier. Somewhere around 1,000 at my tier 9s is a good place to be. So those numbers aren't great, but I was able to win largely because of surviving and being effective at the end of the game. One of the best ways to increase your win rate is to be at the end of the game. That doesn't mean go camp in the back, but as long as you're actively helping and you're alive at the end of the game, you still have a chance to win, and that is a direct correlation to win rate, not the I hide in the back kind of survival thing. All right, that's how I did it. How did I have it set up? Great question. I don't remember. I had hardening, I had turbo, hardening, turbo, and vert stab, I believe, was my setup. So just enough to get a little faster with the turbo. Hardening, yes, you really want that with the big blunt object like this thing. And vert stab to tame some of the soft stats. That is what I ended up using. And I was using the bounty version of those things for all three of them. I did not have a second setup, didn't even bother with it. I ended up with survivability and added a firepower slot. Didn't matter when I'm using bounty, but if you're using regular equipment, then those things will matter. I don't think I did. Well, maybe I did do some of the... All right, I stand corrected. I had lightweight suspension, so the plus to traverse speed, and -7 maintaining when crossing terrain types. You're going to want a little bit of maneuverability out of your traverse stuff. Since suspension durability is always nice, that helps for not getting tracked, things like that. I did take the extra view range just for a little extra stun and stun duration. Who cares? You have a med kit, use it. And I didn't bother with these others because this one is taking more damage just for a little bit of a boost on hold traverse and top forward speed. No thank you. As far as taking more damage and ramming, you want this thing to ram and kill things. The other one is aiming speed and aiming circle size. I don't really bother with that one either because it's a negative to one and a positive to the other, and that's a wash for me generally. I'm sure there's some mathematical situation there that makes one better than the other every time, but I don't know. If you know it, put it down in the comments. I will consider it. I'll consider it. Had a decent amount of APCR. It does have 311 if you dab 2. 246 is not fantastic at tier 9 with the standard round. It's okay. 311 is usable. I did find it struggled a bit against some of the thicker armored stuff. I had pretty good dispersion. We'll take a look at a comparison here in just a minute because I don't think I have a crew in this right now. I do have the crew, but I don't have the equipment. So we won't bother with that part. Comparison. All right. I said at the beginning that you were not going to find a clearer example of power creep than this. And I realize the 4502 has been buffed and debuffed and stuff here and there. I don't know if the Mauschen's been touched or not, maybe. But check this out. So basically, kind of the same tank. These two have a 490 alpha. This is a 530 for some unknown reason. All at 246 pin. Okay. More alpha, same pin. Okay. Rate of fire similar, except that we come down here and the Tiger Mouse is, while similar, it still comes out winning with DPM, average DPM. Nearly 200 above the poor 4502 and 100 above the Maushan. 0.35, so it's not worse gun handling. And as a matter of fact, it is second in zooming in. So more alpha, more DPM, the same pen, handling very similar, slightly better than one or the other. You know what I'm saying, guys? It's just better. It's just a better version of these two. Period. Dot. Armor. Maybe that's a balancing factor. Of course it isn't. Whole armor is 200 like all of them, but it has a 300 turret. Now I will say the results are interesting because I did better armor-wise. I don't know, maybe I was a better side scraper. Some of those numbers, as I said, were from a long time ago in the game. So power creep is really decreasing armor, especially with your autoloaders that can get in beside people and just shoot into weak spots, that kind of thing. You can really lose a lot of armor efficiency if a T-57 or something autoloading shows up and whacks you 3 times in a row and pins from the side. That's one of many effects of power creep. So you might say, well, maybe they mitigated the balance by making it slower. No, it's 2 miles an hour faster than the 4502. Sure, why not? So it's just better. Better traverse speed, same view range at 400. I guess its camo's worse. Is that the balance? I don't know. Interesting. Power creep, there you go. As an example, an older 4502, the slightly newer Maushan, and now this thing, the Tiger Mouse, is just a better version of those other two tanks. Very interesting. Let's go take a look at some gameplay. And as you can see, it's got a large crew. Are these all the same amount of crew members? I believe they are. Nope. Looks like the 4502 has one less person. Are there 2 loaders in it? Yes, there's 2 loaders in this. And only 1 loader in that. Let's take a look at some gameplay. Big dumb animal. A big blunt. The Erlenberg. We're in the north. Standard battle. Let's see how it goes. I am top tier with 8s and 9s, so I'm just going to go be bully. Head on into the middle of town right here. Good news on this is there is no arty, so that's nice. That gives me a few more options and I won't get bombed constantly. This thing does tend to become an arty magnet. It's not very agile, has a hard time getting out of the way. Good news is it's got decent armor. So we'll go ahead and cruise in here. I'm not that interested in taking aggressive early spots. There is a, can I zoom out? Here we go. There's that spot right here that's behind the rubble pile. Used to be a great spot, but with weak spots and whatnot, especially this particular tank, I don't really recommend going to that spot. We're dealing with a 705, a T10, a Toro 40. I mean, there's plenty of tanks over there, to include a CC Mark II that dabs to and becomes a really big problem for this tank. So we'll kind of do this. I don't end up bouncing a whole lot of. In fact, I only think I bounced 280 on this particular game. Now we're going to do a little bit of sniper stuff right here. I think that hit, as I recall from the damage total. Kind of back here. This is the one thing you do with a rear turreted gun is stuff like this. Obviously, not so great if they shoot you in the back end, in the whole part, but you can use your rear turretedness to do some things like that and get yourself a few more shots. That got me lit, so we're going to hang out right here. No arty, so I'm not worried about them bombing me. I just want to make sure somebody who's hanging out there, the Patton and the other two, the Squall, don't have easy shots on me. And we lose quickly a Barosky and a KV-5. That sucks. I am watching the middle. So, let's get this zoomed out again. I don't want to go over to that rubble pile. The E75 is using that little V thing there. It's a very limited capability spot, but whatever. The Panzernik, another heavily armored tank, is sort of working this. So I can go here, but I stand a chance of getting shot through these windows and other stuff. We already lost our KV-5. He decided to go over there and try to be hold down. See how well that worked out for him. So we're going to hang out here for a bit. If these dudes push, then I will move up, side scrape, and try to handle them if we can. But for now, As long as they're content to sit there, they're not hurting me too much. I'll put a nice shot on this guy. Decent dispersion, especially if you can zoom all the way in. Patton tank kind of sitting down lower there, not going to get a shot on him. I was hoping somebody would light up the 103 again, the Sturv, but that's not going to happen. Being patient. So it's only myself and E75 that is not really in a position to help if they push. He'll get little snipers and he might have to come back around to the window. But another nice shot into the K91 too. He misses, great. And we're up to 1,000 damage, so that'll work. So we're supporting those guys, getting lights. And again, I'm watching the situation because I'm feeling like they might get bold. There's enough of them there that we might have to end up dealing with these guys sooner than later. I'm noticing the 4502 move up. That's the problem with this spot. There's the roofs of buildings in the way a little bit over there. So I'm moving over here to see if I can't get a sneaky shot on the 4502 if he's not paying attention. That works. Nice. 528. We'll back out. Using that big alpha gun. It slaps hard, but it's a long reload. I'm just going to get out of here because probably somebody up there is going to start shooting me. So nope, can't do it. That roof's in the way. Squall's raging around. Try to back out here. This could be a really bad decision. Nice. It wasn't. Caught him out. Side of the turret. We'll sneak back around this corner and hide from any shots coming from above. They're doing really well over on the west side of the map. That's nice, so I'm not worried about anybody showing up behind us. The E75 has peaked enough in the doorway / that little nook that he's lost most of his hit points. That is why I am not over there, guys. The other side has a better position for what they're trying to do. That little snipey side scrape hide thing, this side's horrible. The Panzernick's in an okay spot. Where I'm working is about the best you can do, to be honest, unless they push. So it is very difficult until you start to flank them, or they just have many fewer tanks to push from this side. It's hard enough from the other side, but this side it's really difficult to do from. So I'm kind of sitting here looking at these guys going, please stop bleeding hit points here, guys. But pretty quickly, once we start to clear these guys out a little bit, we're going to show you what you can do from this side, because I'm sure people are already sort of typing or thinking about it. But Guido, there's a way. Yes, there is. There is a way to create some crossfires and put pressure on them. But of course, I'm losing a bunch of hit points here, aren't I? I do like that the Jagdtiger moved up. That sort of saved our bacon, to be honest. The fact that he was there, his support by presence was huge for us, because as I saw that the E75 and Panzernick were getting tore up, I was a little bit worried. And then the 40T shows up behind him, so he does a little damage for us. Although he's going to pay the price for that. Like, oh man, there's just the top of that building. Just the top of that building. Okay, E75 has to go all the way around, which is one of the reasons I don't really particularly like the spot he was in. He couldn't go through the door, because if he went through the door, he's going to get tore up more. He's running, I think he's got one of the lower level guns too. That's not the top tier gun. Alright, it's even though. We both lost 2 tanks. Actually, it's 3-2 now. We just got a Patton tank. Ooh, okay, interesting. One of their light tanks is probably up top. Maybe the even 90 is about to find him, potentially. And I'm really worried right now, guys, that the Panzernick and the E75 are going to be doing something stupid. The E75 is in there, I don't know what he's doing, bouncing off the Panzernick. I see that the Jagdtiger's gone in, and there goes the E75 losing more hit points, and there goes the E75 dying to an auto-loading Toro. And I thought, well, maybe I can get something done here. And I'm like, no, I just don't like that spot. It's hard to side scrape there. If I push the front end of my tank around, I get tracked and obliterated. So it's 4-4, and they still have most of their power here. Now, we have a lot of map control now. This is good. The TL7, though, is the only guy down the south. So I'm looking at that going, man, are their birds going to push him and tear him up? And then all of a sudden, now we're going to get flanked. For now, we're looking okay. This is soonly here, I think. I'm going to make the move that I know a lot of you know about. I'm like, all right, do I get any shots? I have noticed that the east side of the map is cleared, so I'm not worried about getting caught out in the space I'm about to go to, because I need to create some more angles, different angles on their heavies. We're not going to be able to push across the bridge. That's not happening. So we go around this way, and other than clipping the front of the indestructible building, I figure it's time, fellas. It's time. We have the east secured more or less, so I can cross here. I still have a decent amount of firepower right here, although they're low hit points, especially in the case of the Panzernik. There's an Udez over there putting pressure on him, so I can come up over here, and now we have some angles, fellas. Shot goes in, and from here it's just being careful. It's fiddly with the rear mounted turret, but it can actually also be kind of an asset when you're doing the side scraping thing. So I'm just not going to let that CCF free shots on me. Sort of watching what's going on the east right there. And then I'm thinking that TS-54 is being a little bit silly. So I'm pretty sure, actually I think I'd try that pixel shot. The Udez, I don't know. That bummed me out when I saw him make that move. I think he saw me go across and thought he could create more angles, but not good. He's in the water right there. I can't help him. I got two guys to deal with right here. Okay, that's fine. Bounce. You need to hit right between the two guns. Fairly weak on the turret right there. There goes the Udez. That was a bummer. We lost a Scorpion, so they're kind of evening this thing up. We still have decent map control, but they've got a nice, powerful position in terms of a lot of their tanks in one spot. There's the 280 that I'm going to bounce. So we're whittling away, 2,390 damage. The Mark 1, so he can't really make a move. I know he wants to come out there and do the auto-loader thing, but we got a Shrek there. We got the Lorraine sitting right there. We're in pretty good shape. If he does push me, these guys should be able to pop out and do some good damage to him. Also remember that that's nice, we're going to kill him. Also remember that the CC Mark II has a relatively slow intra clip. So he just took a stab at somebody back there behind me. I thought about it, but there's the 705 in the window. There's the CC. He hits hard. Like, alright, let me think about this. How are we going to handle this? Maybe I'll just push up. And this is me dithering just a bit. Like, I don't know. Do I want to try to side scrape this? But then I'm just shooting this guy in the face, and what's really the point? I wanted to see what this dude is looking at. Maybe me. Alright, don't want to do that. Because now I'm going to eat CC Mark 1 and 705 shots, and that's no place to be right here. I don't want to do that. I'm kind of hoping that somebody will make a move. I also just noticed that the bloody Jagdtiger is not there anymore. So this is a bit precarious. They kill the Panzernik or the JT, and now they've got angles on me potentially. So I'm about to be in a kind of bad situation right here. He takes a big HE shot, and this is where I finally said, all right, we got to do something. We got to change this. Maybe I can get in here and get a shot on his back if he's not paying attention, or potentially the E50 can move in, or somebody can come help me with this guy. I'm trying to just do some camera work. Oh, he's not looking at me. Holy cow. Big opportunity. All right, I say, here's the deal. I'm going to accept potentially being shot by this guy, who I think is busy looking elsewhere, to get that nice shot on this dude. And boom. I do take the 705. By the way, he's got a small gun on. I know that now. But I'm able to close out the CC Mark 1. So instead of fighting the object, hold down, we'll come over here. See if we can get this T10. You paying attention? Not really. Okay. Not the greatest shot. But he eats a shot doing what he's doing. Kalana takes a hit. And I'm just going to damn the torpedoes here. I know this dude's got the small gun. At least I thought I was. Maybe not. Looking around for help. Hey, anybody going to come help me? No. What's the T10 going to do? Is he dumb enough to push? And it's a good thing the enemy team was passive. I think they really had a good opportunity. I'm just going to jump across there before you can do anything. I think they had a really good opportunity to push us when we were sort of at a weak position there. Terrible. Terrible. Just... Oh, he backed up just as I shot. Got to wait for the reload. So we'll angle a little bit. Where is this guy? You know what? I might get hit by the Kalana, but I want to close this dude out. What's the T10 doing? Is he thinking about coming around behind me? Nope, Panzernik's got him pinned down. So now we're really in good shape. We got these guys surrounded. I'll just accept it if he hits me. He's trying to figure it out. He dies trying to figure it out. I'm not going to push in immediately on the T10 because I'm still on a reload. But about the time I'm reloaded, we'll come around here. Alright, fine. He got the shot. Good on him. Didn't work out the way I wanted to. spin around so we can come around behind the 7.5. Nope, saw somebody come that direction. Let's just do this. He's out in the open. He's got no choice but to move out and try to deal with some stuff. And he's running. We'll take his last 238 hit points. And we're up to 4,218. I think there's a little bit more in there from one of the blind shots. Maybe 4,800, something like that. Got a Squall and Barask. Just a big blunt object, guys. And while I didn't end up using the armor, as in guys shooting me, just the fact that I had that armor, and that makes it a little bit scary for people to pop out and go after you when you're well armored like that. The enemy team was very passive. They were actually in a decent position there. If they'd have pushed, I think they cleaned us up pretty easily, myself and the Panzernik, even maybe the E75. But hey, the good news is World of Tanks players are largely passives, and they're not interested in taking any scratches to their paints. And we actually ended up with a 6-kill game here as well for a Top Gun. Nice little gun. I don't think it might have been. Let me see, fellas. I don't remember if this was an ace. Maybe not. No, class 1 with, and you'll see the plates here in a minute, and there was no extra damage. One of those did not go. I guess that didn't go in. I thought that one was a hit, but it was not a blind shot. 4,215 is the total damage. 1,200 experience. Big blunt object. I'm glad it's done with. It's not a terribly... I mean, it's fun enough if you like the side scraping. I know a lot of people like the box tanks and working the side scraping and the bouncing of the armor and all that, but it's not very fast. The gun can be problematic at times in terms of accuracy, especially with movement. Blunt object. I mean, I guess if you like clubbing things, then maybe this is your tank. I will say it's just plain better than the others. It is. I kind of like the 4502 Bravo, and I feel like the armor's better. I don't know if that's true though in today's game. That's all I've got. Have a great one. See ya.